Hey, you. Yeah, you. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast?
We're two busy moms and boss ladies. If we can do it, you can too. When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had a lot of questions. How do we record an episode? How do we get our show into all the apps people like to listen to? How do we make money from a podcast?
The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what we're doing right now by reading this ad. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join us in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor.
That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast. You're listening to Boss Ladies and Babies
With Mickey and Megan,
two best friends adventuring through motherhood
building our careers
and not losing our shit. Welcome back to Boss Ladies and Babies 100th episode.
This is Mickey.
And this is Megan. Hello, everyone. That's right. It's our 100th episode of Boss Ladies and Babies. What?
Crazy. We have had so many amazing guests on this show, so many topics that we've covered. I mean, everything. Business, personal life, motherhood, relationships, friendships, like just everything you can think of, I feel like we've talked about, and we still have so many more ideas for this season. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, the last 100 episodes have made me laugh, made me cry happy tears, made me cry sad tears. We've went there. We've shared some really embarrassing stuff that I honestly don't know why I would say into a microphone. Like, it has been just the best 100 episodes ever. I can't wait to see what the next 100 episodes look like. So thank you all for joining us, listening to this 100th episode. I just feel like this is such a big deal. And we have some exciting giveaway stuff, but we'll talk about that a little bit later to celebrate this episode with everybody. But we should do our highs and lows to get things rolling.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. My high is coming up actually in 1 week from today. My son will be going to school 4 days a week. And I'm so excited, because he's only been going 2 days now. One, he really needs the extra socializing and interaction because he's only in kindergarten. It's just going to be so good for him. And then also my daughter is going to be home with just us 2 days a week, which she hasn't gotten alone time like that ever, since her brother was born. So it's going to be really fun for us with her, really fun for him, just like a really big life change for us. And I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
Yeah, so that'll be good. My low just happened today. I've been talking about my back. I've been having back sciatic issues for going on 2 months now, a month and a half. And I've been getting better and doing well. But today, a very specific thing happened. We were just bored, and we went and got sandwiches and had lunch at the park, and then we were gonna walk around the mall because our mall here is empty. It's actually creepy, apocalypse, depressing. No stores in there, hardly at all. I'm well, it's indoors, it's cold, it's freezing outside. We'll go walk around in there. So we got out and we started walking around, and I just got just stabbing pain down my leg, and I was you guys, I'm sorry, but I can't do this right now. I'll go wait in the car. And Mike's no, it's we can go, it's fine. And the kids were just crying, and I felt so bad because all they wanted to do was run around somewhere, a change of scenery, and they couldn't because of my freaking pain. And so annoying. And then I just felt terrible, and they're really sweet about it. And once they kind of realized what was going on, they're oh, mommy, it's okay. I don't know, they calmed down and everything, and they were no, it's okay, don't worry. But it was still just a really big bummer.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
At least you tried, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, I tried, and I've been getting around a lot more, and that was after we had already been to the park and everything, so
Yeah.
it was nice to get fresh air. But I think we were kind of getting ready to need to be home anyways, that like midday slump, and they got really cranky and all of that.
Yeah.
So
It was a blessing in disguise to get back home before things, but I'm sorry you had to feel that. How do you feel now?
I feel good now. I'm usually fine like sitting. I'm like in my little desk chair. I have a pillow behind me.
Nice.
Took some ibuprofen, so I'm fine now. But
Yeah, well, that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lame. Ding back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So what about you? Highs and lows?
Oh, I really had to dig for a high, you guys. I'm just having a Monday today. Like it's been a very Monday. We record on Mondays in case you didn't know. And often Mondays are my favorite day of the week, but this week I'm not feeling it. So I figured out my high, I guess, would be my daughter has been talking nonstop. Like, I have a video of her just blabbering on for 5 minutes straight the other day about her podcast. I
Oh.
want to talk about my podcast, not your podcast, my podcast. And she'll just ramble on literally forever if I don't stop her about her podcast. And I think it's so cute because
Oh.
she's just like watching everything I'm doing and she wants to have a podcast and do Zoom meetings and all of that. So
Oh.
it's been really cute to watch her. She just in the last like couple weeks is totally flourishing, like even more. She's always been quite the talker, but she just will not stop talking. And it's so cute to hear the things that
Yeah.
come out of her mouth. I love it. Um, my low is I feel like a little bit bad about this because it is like a mom owned company. So I'm probably just not going to say the name of it just because I feel a little bit bad. Um, but I was super excited about this like epic planner that I found online and I read some reviews about it kind of. I'm not like a big review reader. Um, but I just like thought I did enough research for it to be fine. Anyway, this planner was like $54 and it's only for 6 months. Or no. Yeah, it's only for 6 months of the year
Oh.
because it has a month planner, a week planner, and a day-to-day planner in it, which is like a lot of pages. And all the videos and all the advertising for it seemed so perfect. I was so excited. I was like, I'm committing to this expensive planner because it has literally everything that I need in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I ordered the planner kind of last minute. I ordered it on December 20th, I think. And it said shipping was like 6 to 9 days. And then it was like, busier in peak season. And so I'm like, okay, I'll probably get it by like at least like the first week of January. No, didn't get it. Didn't even hear anything from them. Like I was charged immediately and then didn't hear anything for weeks. So then I did some research and I found something on the Better Business Bureau saying like a lot of other people who are having that same issue, like ordered the planner, they were charged and then didn't hear anything. Some people never got their planner. Some people got it like months later. So I reached out to them and we were like going back and forth. They weren't responding to my emails. And so I reached out to them on Instagram and finally got in touch with them. And so we were like, they were just telling me, like production takes a long time, which I understand. Just like let somebody know that it's not going to be 6 to 9 days. Anyway, finally got my planner, just got it yesterday. So over a month it took to get here. Mind you, it's only a 6-month planner. So missed like an entire month.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Like it's great because it has everything that I need, but the quality of it is so poor. Like I feel like it's just gonna fall apart. It has a coil on it, so it's like I've had coil planners before, and it just feels like so rickety. Like changing the pages, it's just gonna break.
Yeah.
And I like could have definitely printed it out myself. And I feel bad because it's a mom-owned company and I like really wanted to support them, but just like the customer service, the quality, all of it, bad. So,
Yeah. Oh, that's a bummer.
yeah, kind of a bummer. So I ended up buying like a $15 planner at Target that I really like. It doesn't have everything I need, but I've been able to like work with it. So I think I'm going to try this one out for the 6 months I have it, and then just like go back to my, because the quality, it probably won't even last 6 months, to be honest. So
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. And to miss a whole month out of only 6,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
that's a bummer.
Well,
They
they had it start on January 15th,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like still at that point,
Yeah.
like I still didn't get it till the 25th. So that's like 10 whole days,
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I have a lot of other lows that are way more depressing. I thought I'd keep it kind of light.
Yeah. I know we can get real dark on here, but that's fair. And especially how much we love planners. Like I get going and like looking up a like perfect one for you, everything you wanted, and like to be excited, and then to like waiting for anything sucks. And then to like go through all the customer service stuff like that's too bad.
Yeah, it was rough, but it's here now. And I mean, maybe it was just, I know it was like the busiest time of year. So,
Yeah.
just if you know who you are, please work on your communication. Oh, we got to talk about the giveaway. We are doing an epic giveaway for our 100th episode. We have collected gifts from so many amazing boss ladies who have been on our podcast that are donating to one lucky winner for our 100th episode. All you have to do is subscribe to the show, rate the show, and then if you want one extra entry, leave us a quick little review. Not necessary to win. Take a screenshot, send it to us in our email or DM us, and you're in. And we're talking, these prizes are the most epic prizes we've ever had.
And we've gotten I'm really impressed with the amount of responses we've got from these other amazing mom-owned businesses. It's going to be a big basket, like a big package of a variety of amazing cool stuff, you guys. It's really going to be cool.
Yeah, so make sure you go do it, please. We want you to win, and we also want you to be subscribed to our show so you don't miss an episode. Okay.
Back to the show. We have, I think, a really cool episode for you guys tonight. Megan just released her new program, the Brand You Strategy, and we're going to talk all about it. I'm really excited.
I'm excited too. So let's get into it. But before we do, let's take a quick break and introduce a boss lady that we want to share with you all.
Yes.
Hey, boss lady, we want to support you and your business on our show. We are rolling out a new segment where we will be highlighting boss ladies in our community by running an ad for your business.
The Toddler Lab offers a monthly subscription box that helps parents complete fun and educational activities with their kids from ages 2 to 5.
Each box comes with 4 to 5 ready-to-use activities, a book, and printable worksheets that are all created for kids by a teacher.
You can learn more at thetoddlerlab.com and use the code FRIENDSPLUSFAM to get 15% off your first 3 boxes.
If you're interested in us promoting you on our show, send us an email and let's get bossy.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get into talking about the brand You.
I'm excited.
Yes. Megan, you just are such an incredible boss lady. Real estate, doing like so much of the behind the scenes work for boss ladies and babies. A mom to a 2-year-old, which that in itself is such a like full-time job. What made you think about taking on another project?
Well, I don't know. I just wanted more, right? I just felt for so long that my calling was to be doing something so much greater. And obviously, I love helping people. Like, my background is I was a hairstylist for like 10 years and I managed salons. I started managing my first salon when I was 21 years old, managed my second salon when I was 25 years old, and then kind of went on my own to run my own booth renting kind of salon business. And so I did that for so long, helping people, right? And then I moved into the real estate career where I was, again, helping people and continue to help people. And, we created Boss Ladies and Babies, which was this platform for us to really put everything out there and relate and connect with other people and help them feel related to, help them feel less alone, provide them with information and value. But it just still was not enough. Like my heart's calling was just pulling at me for so long, and I couldn't figure out exactly what it was until sometime in 2020 it clicked that everything that I've done in my life so far, looking back at my background of all of the things that I've done in my career and throughout my life, has brought me to this place to have gained this expertise and knowledge to be able to share it with others and teach them kind of how to do what I do. That's one of the most flattering and biggest compliments, but like the most flattering question that I get from people is, how do you do it all? And I started to think about it, like, how do I do it all? And can I teach people how I do it all and show up and find balance in their life and their business by doing some of these things that I do? And I put together a system that teaches just that. And it's just, my heart has only felt this full one other time. And that's when I found out I was going to have my daughter. So it's just like my new baby. I'm in love with it. I'm obsessed with it. And it's just like taking up so much of my passion and filling my soul so much. So yeah. And you've been like my biggest supporter through all of this. So thank you so much.
Yeah, cheerleader. It's been amazing. You're just like, oh, I have, this idea. And then it just felt like the next day, like, boom, I'm ready. Here's this plan. Like just total boss lady goals for sure. I'm so proud of you. It's been really fun to watch.
Thank you.
So, okay, why don't you go ahead and just tell everyone, what is the Brand You strategy?
Yeah, so the Brand You strategy is a 3-part balance and branding program, and it's offered as a group program or a one-on-one coaching program, and it's a 6-week setup. So we go over all the parts in your life and your brand to help you kind of create this brand centered around who you are. It's your life at the center of it so that you can find balance. So we talk about the first step, which is balance, and that's time management, self-management, where you really get to know you so that you can get to know your brand. You can't show up as your authentic self if you don't know who that is. And so we really dig in and ask ourselves some of these really reflective questions that we don't often think about. Like, is it possible to be a mom and a professional? Can you be vulnerable and professional at the same time? And what boundaries in your life do you need to set with your children to be able to create that work-life balance that's so important to all of us? Then we move into the branding piece where we look at your entire brand's foundation and kind of restructuring your mindset on what a brand is and recreating how you look at a brand. So we build your foundation up from scratch, where we find your brand's message and mission. We discover your branding words. We discover your story, your voice. And then we learn how to use that voice and speak it through in every interaction that somebody has with you. Then lastly, in the branding portion, we look at your logo and your aesthetics and all of those things that come along with your branding visuals. We discover your target audience, really dive into who you're talking to at all times so that you can speak directly to them. We put that all together and create this perfect brand centered around your life. And then the last piece is a social media strategy where we really look at a way to create your social media strategy so that you can show up consistently and not take all of this time and question, causing even more drama in your life on how you're supposed to show up and market yourself. So that sounds like a lot, but there's so much more to it, and it's wrapped up in this perfect little 6-week program. If you opt in for the group program, it's amazing because you'll be with a group of like-minded women where we meet weekly to go over everything that we've learned and kind of network and support each other, and the accountability is so beautiful. It's just really amazing. And then if you do it one-on-one, you just have me at all times for 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's an amazing program. I just went through Megan's first beta group with Crystal also. And I'm like, hi, Crystal, I see you here. It's amazing, you guys. And I'm just, another way that I'm completely blown away with this whole program from you is because we've been doing this podcast together going on our 3rd year. Mm-hmm. And I have learned so much from you, and we're like in so much communication with building our podcast and our brand that way. I never could have even realized how much more there is to learn. Like you still, I was like, okay, yeah, we'll see. Like, I feel like you've already taught me a lot. Like, no, not even skimmed the surface. It was, I was a student for the first time in years. I had like my notebook, taking all these notes, like just so much information that I never even knew that I didn't know. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. It was a lot of fun. The group part of it was so much fun. I'm still texting Megan and Crystal like every week, like, hey, how about this idea? It's so nice to have someone to bounce ideas off of, and it's just amazing. I had so much fun.
Yeah, I had so much fun too. And you and Crystal, you guys did so amazing. And I'm just excited to watch you guys like as your friend, but then also as somebody who like gave you a piece of my soul and taught you,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Mhm.
so I'm so passionate about it that it's really cool to watch you guys take that and run with it. It's also strange to like take off the friend hat and put on like the teacher hat. But that's how I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing because like when I thought about it, I was like, oh, this is going to be awkward, like telling my friends what to do kind
Mhm.
of. But when I was in it, it just feels so natural. Like it's just coming out so naturally that I just know that it's honestly what I meant to do. So thank you guys
Yeah.
so much for, kind of being like
Yeah.
my little test guinea pigs.
Well, and on the receiving end of things, I totally looked at you as a teacher. Like there wasn't any,
Weird.
like you're just so professional, you know exactly what you're talking about. Like there's nothing I could do but sit back and listen, and yeah, you're totally natural at it.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's
Been
impressive.
awesome. Yeah. It's
Okay,
so
so what kind of business or who would this strategy program be for?
So honestly, it could be for anyone. So one of the things that I like to preach about is that every single person has a personal brand, whether you know it or not. And so it's up to you to decide if you want to write the narrative for that brand or if you just want to let other people kind of write that for you. So any single person who is looking to discover who they are in their brand, any single person who's looking to find balance in their life between motherhood and just, the day to day. Really, it's heavily focused on business as well. So, you're probably going to get the most value out of it if you do have a business, whether you have children or not. I think that's where you'll find the most value. I am hoping to eventually branch out and also just teach the balance program separately for moms who may not have a business and then teach, the branding part and the social strategy separately as well. But for right now, I would say if you have a business, children or not, and or are looking for balance in your life and some like systems and like an easier flow in your life. But Mickey, why did you decide to jump in?
Well, one, I mean, obviously, I wanted to see what it's all about and help you, but it's just something that I really struggle with, finding that balance between finding time to build my business while juggling motherhood. And I just am one of those people, I don't have like a strategy to anything in my life. I have no schedule. I know my kids have to be at school at a certain time, and then like that's it, and that's it for me. So I really needed some structure. I really needed some guidance because it's so overwhelming and it's hard to know like where do you even begin on creating a system that's going to work for you. Like if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where to start. So I really needed that, and I learned so much. I learned so much like just in my personal life as a mom and a wife and an adult, and got a lot of that balancing stuff. And then now I've found a way to start focusing on my business and building it in the way that I've wanted to, even with young kids who aren't in school full time right now when they should be. But yeah, I needed it. Like balance, yeah, preach. Like everyone can learn more about that. It's something I think we all struggle with.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of why I say it's, could be for anyone. I think that's what really sets this program apart. Like a lot of business coaches, and I'm almost hesitant to use the word coach because it's so saturated and some people think of like, oh, coach, like who are you to be telling me what to do? But really, a lot of business coaches will just kind of get right to the branding or get, right down to business. But I think that balance piece is so important. Whether you have children or not, if you are a person running a business, you have something in your life that's taking up your passion and your time that you need to figure out how to balance with your business. And that piece of really getting to know you so you can know your brand and giving yourself some time to reflect and figure that out and then fill into your own cup so you can put back into your business is such a huge piece of it. I love that you said that because that's exactly what my goal is with that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So what do you think the most difficult part is for us as women or mothers and business people? Like, what's the hardest part about finding ourselves within our brand?
Yeah, I think honestly, it's just the comparison. We see so many other people doing the things that they're doing, and we really, whether we realize it or not, are always comparing ourselves to what other people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And when we decide to intentionally show up as who we are, like the good, the bad, everything in between, that's when we're going to find that balance in our lives. And we're just not often doing that. We're trying to be somebody else. We're trying to look like we have it all together. We're trying to be super mom, but also like badass boss lady. And we're not really sitting back and looking at who am I and how can I show up as me and who does that serve and how can I make this the best possible situation for myself and the people that I truly serve.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, I'm like, cool. Just coming out.
Oh, yeah.
But what would you say?
I think that's spot on. The comparison thing, especially with, how much we're all on social media. I can go and look up like embroidery businesses and there's going to be a bunch of them, like there's already someone probably doing what you're doing, maybe in a different way, but they're definitely a different person and they're not you. I have such a hard time like with imposter syndrome for sure. And I'm like, I don't have all this time to like, or I feel like I don't have all this time when really I've found I have a lot more time than I thought originally. But like if it's not going to be perfect and look perfect, then I just don't want to do it. I don't want to put it out there for people if I don't feel like it's ready. Like even after this, I have so much information I got from you and I'm like, okay, I want to get everything together like a present before I unwrap it and show everything. But you don't always have to do that. It always have to be perfect. You can show who you are. I work out of my laundry room in my house and it is a shit show in there, but that's who I am. I'm a busy mom. I have laundry coming out my ears every day of my life. That's where I found my space and I do what I can in my time. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And I think people like to connect with you as a person and see that, I'm not pretending to be perfect. I'm approachable. Like that's the good thing is we're all searching for like connection with real people. It's nice to follow those like perfect accounts and perfect businesses and like nice to look at. But like, do you want to like be friends with those people? Especially if it's making you feel bad about yourself.
Yes.
That's tough. So
yeah. The connection with real people is, that's exactly it. And what you were saying about how there's so many other people doing like the same thing, but why would they want to buy from you? And it's showing those sides of yourself and making that connection with people like, hey, me too. Let's connect on that. Let's be friends. Yeah. Like I'm struggling with that too. And then I trust you and now I want to buy from you.
Yeah. And I think that's my favorite part about our podcast and community also is just that keeping it real aspect because then like you make friends that way. I don't know. We're all going through it. Why would we pretend that we're not? And you just like, it's so much easier to bond over those like hot mess moments or like behind the scenes stuff. That's what people enjoy and connect with. And like you make those bonds with people.
Yeah. And I feel like when somebody's laughing with you, you never give them the opportunity to laugh at you. Like
that's true.
Tonight has been like what to some people would be so embarrassing trying to get this set up. Yeah. But for Mickey and I, like Mickey said it as we were like laughing behind the scenes trying to get our shit together. Like, this is really on brand for us. And it really is. Like, this is just like, this is us. And you guys who have been with us for a while, you know us. If you don't know us yet, like, welcome to the shit show, because we don't sugarcoat anything. So,
So, okay, we learn so much through your program. There's so many like steps and areas that we like dive into. What do you think is the most important step in your program for people to work on? Like, what is that most important, like, first brick in the foundation kind of thing?
yeah. Well, I feel like the first brick in the foundation is definitely the balance, like getting to know you to get to know your brand. But I feel like we've talked about that a lot. So I would say that the next piece is really discovering how to share your story. So a lot of people think like, okay, well, I'm supposed to be me. How can I be authentic? How am I supposed to do that? That sounds literally terrifying to some people, asking them to post a picture of themselves, or, oh my gosh, even worse, like get on camera, right?
Yeah.
And so again, with the comparison thing, we don't have to do it all. So figuring out how you are going to share your story, what your story is, what are the pieces of yourself that you're comfortable sharing? Because yes, we want to be authentic, we want to be vulnerable, but you don't have to put it all out there. You know, there's some things that you can keep close to the vest. You're thinking about putting yourself out there in a way that shows enough of who you are to be able to relate with people and make them feel comfortable. So figuring out your story, what you're really comfortable with sharing, and then how you want to share it. You don't have to be showing your face in every post. You don't have to be showing up and doing live videos, or, like running around, this is me, this is me. Like, you just don't have to do that. So again, back to that, getting to know you, like knowing yourself enough to know what are you realistically comfortable with, because the biggest part about a successful brand is to be consistent. So if for you, your comfort level is sharing small pieces of your life and maybe showing your face once every month, that's great. That's going to be something that you can commit to and can stay consistent with, so that your audience feels like they know who you are and they're not getting confused. And you're also not like bearing so much of your soul that you can't stand to look at anybody, right? It's all about just being who you are, but in a way that's comfortable to you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that, because there are so many stories we've shared on here where we're like, oh, I'm glad that we don't have to watch anyone as they're listening to these stories, because
Yeah. Well, but also if that's your thing,
Yeah.
preach.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. What would you say was what's the most, like, the biggest takeaway that you got from the program?
For me, and this is gonna like maybe sound dorky or whatever, but it was the time management thing. Like, because we talk about time management on here a lot. I've seen little like schedules on Pinterest or whatever, but you dive deep in there and like ask questions I never really would have thought of. And it just kind of made me like look at myself and how I spend my days in a different rough light, where I'm like, oh, like, what am I even doing with my time? I don't even know. For me, that is probably the biggest like takeaway that's going to help me build everything else, because I just have always felt like, oh, I don't have time, I'm so busy with my two kids. My kids are like pretty self-sufficient at this point, and I can, find a lot of these pockets of time to use more wisely.
Yeah.
And then stop feeling so guilty, because I'm a lazy person. I love to be lazy. Like, I will sit and play games on my phone, or like be on, and like in a pandemic, I'm like so lonely. I'm like just on Facebook all day, like pretending I'm seeing my real friends when I'm not. And that part's hard, but it's just a waste of time. And especially if you're trying to like put effort into grow your business, or even like spend more time with your kids and just use your time more wisely and be more present in whatever it is that you're doing. That time management portion is just so important. And then it surprised me by how in-depth it was, and how doable it was at the same time.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. That's exactly what I wanted to accomplish with that, because all of us want to be 100% present with our children, and we're passionate about our work, right? So a lot of us also want to be 100% present in our work, but it's really hard for us as moms to do that, to turn off our brain, to be able to focus on one thing or the other. And then at the end of the day, we've just run around like thinking about the other thing that we weren't doing and then feeling like we sucked at everything. And it just really doesn't have to be that way. And so with the time management piece, I love that that was your takeaway from that, because like a lot of things that you find about time management are like very, very strict, and it's all or nothing, and you have to stick to this or you fail, right?
Right.
In this program, what I teach is time management that is going to work for you. So if you really only have 3 hours a week, let's just say, like this is how minimum it can be. If you have 3 hours a week to dedicate to work, that you want to dedicate to work, and the rest of the time needs to be dedicated to your family, we sit down and we figure out how you can be the most productive in those 3 hours of work, that when you are with your family, you're only focusing on your family. And when you are at work, you can put everything else aside and just really go time and get that work done. And, you know, maybe it's 300 hours a week, whatever it is. Like, we find something that works for your schedule, that really works for you. Like, that's the biggest thing. You. Like, it's definitely tailored to you. And you know, you can walk away giving yourself that permission to turn off work, be a mom, turn off mom, go to work. And setting those boundaries, it's so important. I'm really glad that that was a big takeaway for you, because I feel like that's like a life-changing outlook on time management. And so, you know, I wasn't sure if that was going to stick. Like, that's what I do, but I feel like it's just to look at it that way. Like, once I wrote it all out, I'm like, this is different. I think this is special, and I think that this is doable for nearly anybody. So, not to toot my own horn, but I'm really passionate about that part.
It totally is. And I have to say, because Megan and I are just like complete opposites in things. Like, she has a planner and uses it and knows where she's going to be every hour of the day and what you're doing. Like, I love that about you. I am just not that way. So I have to say, I was like a little nervous going into that section, because I'm like, what you do is not going to work for me. It's too much. And I was really intimidated and worried about it, but that's not what it's about. It's not about turning people into you. It's working with how we are. So you sat down, you're like, how much do you want to work? I'm like, I get to pick? Like, you're not going to make me do more than I'm able to. And it's so personalized, and like, no judgment, low stress, just wherever we're at, you meet us there. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, that makes me really happy.
Like, we're both just gonna cry on this. That's funny. Okay, so the time management part, it was awesome. I'm trying to think, what do you think is the one thing that you've gone through and taught people that they found the most surprising, or something they're like, oh, I never thought of focusing on that? Because I feel like I had a lot of those moments throughout there, but I'm curious to see what you think, like, most people were like surprised about.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, first of all, most people, when they think about a brand, they think about logo, colors, fonts, imagery, such and such, right? And I think it surprises people that that's one of the last things that we focus on in the branding piece. Definitely just like the idea of being really vulnerable, I think, is a little bit surprising for people, and a little bit challenging to kind of shift your mindset on that. And then I also think that the social media portion is really surprising to people, because when we look at showing up on social media and, you know, marketing ourselves through social media and showing our brand through social media, right? Every single interaction that somebody has with us is a reflection of our brand. And that goes for what you post on social media as well. And people look at social media as this big, scary thing that's going to take up all of their time. And I just don't have time to commit to that. And so I think that people are really surprised when we break down a structure for their social media strategy, on how, you know, a little bit of work at the beginning can make it really easy for them to show up, and that there's ways to be that vulnerable version of themselves and to really share their story through social media without spending hours on hours on hours, like trying to make the perfect post.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, what about you?
I think the most surprising thing to me, it was like the first email I got from you week 1. So many questions, which I loved. I don't know, when I thought about, like, when I normally think about, like, oh, my brand, what, like, logo, colors, that's as far as I ever got. I've redone my logo numerous times, and, like, for you to, we, like, take the time to actually answer, like, really, really, really personal questions that I just, like, haven't really let myself dig into before. And I feel like I'm a pretty in touch with myself kind of person, but to use that information into your business, it just, like, really blew me away. And it totally, when you do get to sit down and, like, ask yourself these questions and then apply it to your business, it completely changed how I thought about my job in general, how I felt about my business, how I felt about who I'm doing it for, why I'm doing it, what I'm even doing, and how much time I want to put into it. Those questions affect everything. They affect that logo that I'm going to come up with, or the colors I'm going to choose eventually. Like, it's just, I loved how deep and personal I got, and I was totally blown away and not expecting that at all. So it was a little like, oh my gosh, like, I need some time to fill this out because I need to, like, spend some time with myself for a minute to really think about these answers.
Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah, it was awesome. A good surprise for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you that those questions are more for you. Anybody who's taking this program, they're more for you than they are for me. So obviously in my first beta test group, like, I know you guys really, really well. My second beta test group, I didn't know any of them, right? So the questions were helpful in a different way since I didn't know them. However, those questions, like, are a way to get you thinking and to get you to start opening your mind for this different outlook on the branding portion, especially, right? So like what you're saying is, with the logo and the colors and things like that, most people don't think about, like, what emotions do I want my brand to evoke from people? Like, how am I going to connect with somebody's emotional brain just through a simple photo? We don't think like that. And so when we can start opening up our brains and start kind of changing what we are even able to comprehend, that's kind of what the concept was with these questions. And so, yeah, warning, if you want to take this program, like, we go there, we don't hold back. You're going to open up parts of yourself that you may not have realized were there, and just really, really get to know yourself so that you can get to know your brand. It's big. It's different.
Yeah, it's amazing. Totally, like, empowering, life-changing. It was amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So, what is your favorite part about leading this program?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I just feel like so much of it. I think just creating it was really fun. Just laying it all out there and just kind of trying to break it down. What do I do and how do I think this would help people, and then kind of getting feedback as I'm going so I can tweak things. And I just have so many more ideas coming to make it better and make it better as each program runs. But I honestly think my favorite part is the discovery calls and the meetings as a group and the one-on-one meetings, because just when I can sit there and talk through the content with people and literally watch them have an aha moment, it's just like, oh my gosh, my heart just fills up so much, because it's like, I just helped you. And that's what my main purpose behind all of this is helping people. And it's amazing. Like, you can actually see it in somebody's eyes, that moment when they're like, oh my gosh, that just clicked. Wow, that's amazing. And then they run for it, and then seeing what they do and watching them succeed, just kind of, I don't know. It's the best feeling. I just cannot explain it. I wish I could bottle up and sell it, because that could make some really good money. Yeah. What about you? What was your favorite part?
Gosh, I think it was just really nice to have that little group to meet with every week to
Mhm.
bounce ideas off of, because like my husband and I started this business when my daughter was born, like 7 years ago now, and he has a real job, like another full-time job. So this is just something I do like on the side from home. And so I'm pretty much just like in it myself, and I haven't put a ton of effort into like making it something special like it deserves. So I don't like sit down with him and talk about like literally any part of it, other than like sometimes I need help with something or give me a break to go work or whatever. So getting to dig deep and then have like-minded women, and the other girl Crystal in our group happens to have like a similar business to mine, like we're both crafters. It was nice to see her opinions on things and like her point of view, but then also how different we were, and then to have you like overlook everything and give us feedback, and you're just so gentle about everything too. Like I could show up and be like, yeah, like I didn't do anything this week, and you'd be like, okay, like let's work with that. Like I just felt like I belonged, and it was just such a like comfortable space to just like be vulnerable and be creative and work together. And I just really like that like community part of it.
That's
For sure.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for saying that. Yeah, there's something magical that happens when you get a group of like-minded women together who all have a similar goal, which in this case would be, to find balance in their life and their businesses. And the accountability is amazing. And I know for a lot of people, like even Crystal, who was in the group, had told me separately, like, it's really intimidating for me to talk to a group of people. Like I'm not super comfortable with that. But when you get into the space, like it is a safe space. Everybody is being as vulnerable as you're being. They're all trying to better themselves. And to be able to have that community and that accountability from each other, and then the brainstorming and the mastermind that comes from it is just so amazing. And my hope and my biggest, wish for everybody who takes the program is that they'll make connections that will kind of last with them throughout after the program, that they can use, to continue networking or growing their business or their life in whatever way that will benefit them. Because it's just, these women coming together are amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And already, I know Crystal also, but we haven't like been super close over the years, but we're still like texting each other like, oh, hey, here's this idea. And like, I'm going on and supporting her TikTok. Like it's just nice to feel like you have someone on your team. I think at the end of the day, it's just really awesome.
Yeah. And it's just a reminder that like, we aren't competing with each other. Like there's room for all of us at the table, and to help lift up other women, like by simply just joining a class to better yourself, like not realizing that you're also lifting up other women and inspiring them and pushing them forward in their goals as well. It just makes everybody want to do better. And the more that we're out there trying to do better, like the better we're all going to do. And it's just a cool thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and meeting even just once a week, like with this group, you're going like digging so deep and being so vulnerable, and like so much like emotion and brain stuff flowing. Like you're gonna leave best friends. Like you're gonna get close with these people, and it was just awesome to show up every week and be like, hey, I'm hanging out with like two of my awesome friends, and we get to do work stuff together. Like there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree from my standpoint too.
Yeah. So where do you go from here? What's next for the brand you? What's next for you?
So, oh my gosh, so much. I just like the wheels will not stop turning now that I've got a taste of this like giving and like serving people. I'm just like I there's so much more. Like so the brand you is a program that I'm offering. I also, like those of you who don't know, I'm also a real estate agent. And so, I started coming up with a program called Keeping It Real Estate, which is essentially teaching like the branding and the social media portions of this to other real estate agents. Because just quickly, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I finally started to realize like, hey, I don't have to be like a buttoned up professional in everything that I do as a real estate agent. I can show up in a way that's vulnerable and relate to other people and build these strong relationships by being me. and so many people in a very like a profession like real estate. I don't really know what to call it, like competitive, like highly professional, corporate kind of like those
Yeah.
kind of professions. People feel like they can't show up in that way. And that's honestly the direction that branding is going and marketing is going. And people need to start changing their mindset before they get left behind. And so I created a program called Keeping It Real Estate that is just focused on agents that I'm hoping to teach to different brokerages around the area. And then I just, I don't like using the word coach, but I really think I want to just run with this business coaching thing because, as I was doing my one-on-one, so with the program, you get weekly meetings, and then at the end, you get an hour-long one-on-one session with me to go over your full strategy. This is with the Brand You program. I really was finding like, oh, I have all these other business ideas for you, like overall marketing ideas. And I had to kind of like reel myself back, like, wait, that's not what I'm teaching here. But I could teach that. I have a lot of really good ideas and, ways to kind of set you apart by using the Brand You as a stepping stone and then building on that in other ways that you can market for your business. And so I want to really play around with different kinds of one-on-one coaching, maybe more group courses, definitely separating the steps of the Brand You strategy into separate coaching programs, and just really like serving more people. The more people I can help with what I know, the more I want to do it. So yeah. So stay tuned. I have like my board, like my to-do board, and I have a lot of ideas like way at the bottom. So don't get overwhelmed, but knowing me, they'll be coming out soon.
Oh yeah. I'm like, so next week, be ready. No. That's awesome. Well, I have complete faith in you, and I mean, you're gonna do it all because you're amazing and so driven and motivated. So that'll be exciting to watch.
Yeah. Well, I want to hear about your business too, because we just had some big breakthroughs for you. So what are you thinking? What's going on? Make some announcements, girl.
I know. Okay. So with Piper's Designs and Embroidery, I think I've just been like really stagnant in that business. Like I have my little Etsy shop and, I embroider golf towels and like a few kind of like boring things, but I actually kind of enjoy doing those. But I think I'm just going to branch out like for myself, my education, learn some more fun stuff so that I have more fun with it, because just like embroidering people's names on things is not very exciting, or doing like someone else's logo. I don't get to be very creative with it, and that's the part that I think that I was really like missing, that passion part of it, because I like to create stuff on my own. I like to be the artist behind the things. So I think I'm just gonna be putting out more like personally created items for people, and just kind of like I need to go through and do the like rebranding and reopening, and so add more to my shop that way and just make it more fun for myself so that I want to go to work and I want to spend the time doing what I like to do. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, and you're such a fun person, and so I think it's really, really special that you want to put your personality into what you're creating, and then that feeds back into the passion of maybe why you started what you were doing in the first place. I love all of your ideas, and you have so many creative ideas. I'm so excited to see what's coming out.
Thanks. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I mean, there's like endless possibilities for things that I can do with embroidery and with like heat press vinyl. I could go beyond that if I want. I love crafting, so who knows where I'll settle in, but for now I'm going to try out a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, and then maybe you can teach me how to be crafty, because you should see the sad excuse for a snowflake. I tried to craft with Nora out of Q-tips. It is, whatever I can teach you on the business side, you can teach me on the crafting side, because I am not.
Well, we can't all be perfect at everything, so that's fair.
Yep, there we go. Balance.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, you guys need to at least follow Megan on Instagram. follow along with all her brand new stuff. The Keeping It Real Estate is going to be so exciting for realtors. I think that's so important because that can be such a like stuffy kind of like, I always think of like
Stuffy. That's the word I was looking
older
for. Yeah.
people, like all buttoned up and just, yeah, not very fun. I mean, buying a house is scary. And I think having someone that you can relate to and trust and connect with is so important for that. So I'm really excited for you for that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really excited for that too. I'm excited to tie the two things together and kind of see what can come up. I want to leave everybody listening with two asks, I guess.
Yeah.
The first thing I would really like you each to do is to grab your phones and go to your business account, whatever it is that you're selling, and really assess if it is just pictures of what you're selling. I want you to see how many times you have to scroll before you can see a picture of your face. This was the exercise that Kelsey Curtis actually had us do, like when I first was in real estate, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is intimidating, right? So open your phones, scroll through, see how many scrolls it takes to find your face on your page. Remember this, if you're just showing product, or house sold, you're just another person doing the same thing as hundreds, thousands, millions of other people. If you can find a way to differentiate yourself by showing up, even just every once in a while as you're already going to take the first step to stand out. The second ask is to go over to bossladiesandbabies.com/thebrandyou and check out the program. Enrollment is opening in just a couple days. So you can grab a spot on the VIP list, be the first to know when it opens, or if you listen to this episode, feel free to message me directly. You can email us at bossladiesandbabies and just let me know you heard about it on the episode and you're interested in learning more, and you can snag a spot early by mentioning this episode.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to ask you our final question because, I mean, who better to ask really than you?
Oh, no.
But if you could share one piece of advice on how to balance being a mom and a boss lady, what would it be?
Make time for both by setting some priorities and boundaries. I really think that that's the most important part. For a while, I really struggled with the fact that I didn't have mom guilt when I would leave Nora to work. And I thought that it made me like a bad mom for feeling that way. But in reality, I discovered this as I was writing this program. It was actually because I gave myself the permission to be able to go work, knowing that I had been giving her my all the entire time that I was with her, and knowing that I had set the expectations for her that I would be going to go work at this time. And once I had that realization, I stopped feeling guilty for not feeling guilty.
Yeah.
I'm able to be, I mean, and it's not every day, right? Nobody's perfect, but for the most part, I'm able to be really fully present when I'm with her. And then I can go work and be really fully present at work. And it makes life so, so much easier. Just create the time, create the boundaries, create the priorities to do it all. And you'll be a lot happier in each thing that you do.
I like that.
Yeah. And also, my daughter is like the biggest part of my brand for real estate, by the way. Like, if she's not with me at my weekly Zoom meeting, people question where she is. So that's kind of like going back on that, you know, really utilizing your life as the centerpiece of your brand. Like, that works for me, right? I'm her full-time caregiver, so I'm home with her at all times. So she's obviously going to be with me sometimes when I'm working. So I just set that expectation. Like, she knows it, I know it, they know it. Like, this is me and this is my little sidekick. So yeah.
And she's the cutest too.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's that. I feel grilled.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, relax a little bit, take a break. We'll lighten it up a little bit. And it's our chance to share our hot mess moment. We always ask our guests at the end of our episodes to share a hot mess moment. Life's full of those hot mess moments. We've all been there. So we let them share an embarrassing confession about a time they've been a total hot mess. But now it is our turn since it's just the two of us here. So let's share some hot mess stories. I have one that just happened today.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and share.
Yes.
So I knew that I was going to be doing this podcast tonight. So I was like, okay, I'm going to spend some time, do my makeup, like get cute today. So I get half dressed. I like put my jeans on. I put a real bra on today, underwire and everything. But I didn't put my shirt on yet because I still wasn't sure what I was going to be doing. I was doing my makeup and everything. And my kids were out in the living room. My husband was showering. Kids are in the living room. And my son had a Zoom at 9:30 with his class. But it's 9:50 and they're usually not on there very long. And I just did not even think about it. But my daughter comes in. She's like, oh, I want to show you something. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll come see what you're looking at. And the mail also had just come. So I walk out to the living room and I'm kind of peeking around to see if there's a mailman looking in our front window, which there wasn't. And that's the only thing that was on my mind. I walk out into my living room in my jeans and a bra to go look at this thing, and I just happen to look over, and of course it's the one time that he's has his laptop on the couch, but he's on the floor, so it's facing out into the living room. So I was out there for a minute, and I turn and look, and I'm like, oh my god! I yelled, and I ran into the bedroom, and I was like, please, dear Lord, do not let any of those kindergartners have just seen me in my bra out in my living room right now. And I just and then on top of it, the fact that I also yelled and probably drew attention to myself and ran away. So embarrassing.
Oh my gosh.
Just oh man. The one time, of course.
You made it sound a lot more low key on the story today when you were just I walked out there in my bra. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, he said, he's like, I didn't see you. I don't even know what you're talking about. And the way he sits, I mean, he's 6, so he sits right in front. So I'm sure they probably didn't see me.
Yeah.
And kids, I mean, who knows if they would even care. I mean, at least I had a bra on. I've walked out in way worse. We live out in the county. I don't have neighbors to look in my windows. But, oh, my God. Yeah, so I'm going to have to maybe I'll invest in a nice bathrobe.
Just claim it, girl. That's on brand.
I mean, but there were some high-waisted jeans. So everything was tucked in nice. I mean, it wasn't my worst look. And I was doing my makeup and stuff. But yeah, not for the kiddie. So I come in and my husband's like, whoa, what kind of podcast are you putting on tonight? Yeah. So that's my hot mess moment of the day. So
day. Can't wait to hear what happens tomorrow. Oh man, that's so funny. All right, so mine, that's a tough act to follow. Okay, so I have been obsessed, and when I mean obsessed, I'm have not been this obsessed with something in a long time, with Clubhouse. And it's an exclusive app for iPhone users only, and you have to have an invite to get in. And it's just the best. It's literally the best place on the internet. It's an app. I don't know. So it's amazing. And so I've been so what it is, just briefly, in case those of you who don't know. So it's kind of like a virtual speaking event. So you can there's a hallway that shows a bunch of different rooms that are going on. And then you can go into a room. It's all audio only, right? And so there'll be people that are hosting the room, and they're called moderators. And then, you're in the audience, and you can raise your hand to come on stage and then talk with the moderators. And so it's just free knowledge, nonstop. You're not allowed to record it. It's all audio. It's literally the most amazing thing that I have ever experienced. The amount of things that I've learned in the few short weeks I've been on there is just no wonder why I'm so overwhelmed. It's amazing. So I have been waiting to host my first room, just because it's intimidating. Like I've been on there, like I was in a room with the first female coach of the NFL. I was in a room with like a guy who works with 2 Chainz. Like he just casually dropped like, oh yeah, I'm working on something kind of like that with 2 Chainz. Like Jasmine Star, if you know who she is, I've been in a couple rooms with her and I'm just like,
Wow.
holy crap, like this is intense. So I finally met these 2 girls on Clubhouse and we were like, we're going to host a room together and we're going to talk about branding. And so we like had a little chat. We had it all planned out. Like we made a beautiful marketing graphic, like come join us on Clubhouse today at 4:30. And we were just like so excited, very intimidated. They're strangers, first of all. Like I'm like, can talk about branding, but like also like what if somebody asks a question I can't answer? Or like what if the conversation just flops? What if nobody shows up? What if nobody asks questions? Like what are we going to talk about? So I got all those jitters out of the way. I was so excited. I go to get on the app and there's some kind of freaking like app crash overload type thing going on.
Oh.
So one of the girls is able to get in the room. I'm finally able to get in the room. And then the third girl is also able to get in the room. And we get like, people are slowly like trickling in. We get like 15 people in there at one point, but like we're all having like major technical issues and we can't really see what's going on the app. So then both of the other girls just disappear and it's just me in the room. And I don't know how many people are in there. At one point I saw that there was 15, but my like the app was glitching so much. I had no idea. And so one of the other moderators was like messaging me on Instagram, like, I can still see the room, but I can't talk. Like, I don't know how many people are even in there. And I'm like, okay, so like, and people can't talk with you unless they're up on stage with you, because you have to like call them up and then they can unmute themselves. So like no one's up there with me. I can't even call anybody up there because I can't see anything that's going on.
Yeah.
I'm like now responsible for this room by myself. I don't know if I should call it. I don't know what's going on. So I'm just like, we're just having some technical difficulties. Like, I don't know who's in here, if you can even hear me. And just like, I was so like mortified, like my first chance on Clubhouse.
Aww.
And maybe nobody even heard it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like a total hot mess.
Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully, I mean, that was like an app-wide thing, so you weren't the only one experiencing it that day. Yeah, but oh my gosh, I can imagine that's like showing up to a classroom and then everyone leaving and you're the one up there. Like, that's scary. At least I really like that there's no video component because that takes like a lot of pressure off.
It takes a lot of pressure off, but it also makes it so that it's the most time, like, I don't feel like it's a time suck because the amount of, it's all knowledge, but it's like, you can literally be listening and on it no matter, like you could be doing anything. And it's just like, so you can like, there's no cutoff. There's literally no cutoff. Roll out of bed, get on Clubhouse. Like just, I can't even explain it. Like if you know, you know, it's bad. It's so bad.
It sounds like it's like an interactive podcast, basically.
It's exactly like an interactive podcast.
Cool.
And then people, so you can like have your own clubs on there. And so like I applied for a Boss Ladies and Babies Club, and then you can host rooms within that. So like, it's just so cool. There's so many possibilities. And the connections that I've made on there so far, like it makes up for the hot mess moment. But
yeah. iPhone only. Like, what the heck?
I know.
Because iPhone users needed to be more bougie. No.
Right? I know. It's just in
so
beta
jealous.
testing. It will eventually be for everybody.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I'm trying to get the most out of it before like everyone has access to it.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. And that's so cool that it's like, yeah, like a more exclusive, like private thing that's not overflooded with people.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I know I'm jealous you've been talking about it a lot because it's just such a unique, like just a cool, innovative idea, and to be getting involved, that's super cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm actually hosting a room tomorrow, Friday, the 29th at 1:00 about branding. So make sure that if you are on Clubhouse, come check it out. My username is @Megan Gillespie. And come hear me talk more about branding.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, I think that wraps us up for tonight.
My gosh, 100 episodes in the books. I'm so proud of us.
I know, me too. So cheers to the next 100.
Yes.
Yeah.
and beyond.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Well,
Okay.
make sure you follow us. Don't forget.
Yeah. All
Subscribe.
along. We will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Boss Ladies and Babies. If you like this episode, be sure to rate, review, and leave us some feedback.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and join the conversation in our Facebook group at Boss Ladies and Babies.
And until next time,
Stay bossy.
bossy.